Hey guys, I'm so excited to show you how I did my Nebula makeup. Let's get started. First, I'm going to start with the bald cap. I put my hair up in a bun and sprayed around the edges with hairspray to hold down any loose hairs. Then I use a glue stick to glue down areas of my hair to protect it. Then I separate my hair in the middle and wrap it around my head and pin it down. Then I put 2 wig caps on to compress my hair. If you can get away with not using a wig cap, I would recommend it because it will leave a slight ridge under the bald cap. That didn't matter to me because the makeup was so heavy anyway, you wouldn't even notice. Then I use my fingers to shift the hair around and flatten out any bumps to make it as smooth as possible. I take out my bald cap. I will add a link in the description to the bald cap I'm using. I stretch the bald cap over my head, and I fold up the front so I can apply the glue. I use a Q-tip to apply pros-aide to my forehead where the bald cap will be. I will add a link to pros-aide in the description. I hold the bald cap tight as I pull it down over the adhesive. Once the bald cap is pressed down, I apply another layer of glue to the edge of the bald cap. I do this along my entire forehead while pulling the cap tight as I press it to the glue for minimal wrinkling. I also glue it to my neck. And I hold it as I wait for it to dry. Once it's applied to my forehead and neck and done drying, I cut off the excess. I glue it down as I cut off the extra pieces. Then very carefully I cut around my ear. You don't want to cut off too much because you want to be able to tuck it behind your ear, but you also want to cut off enough so it doesn't wrinkle over your ear. I have a little bit of wrinkling, so I cut off a little bit more. And now it stretches around my ear with no wrinkling. I also cut off the excess around my neck. This would be much easier if I had an extra pair of hands, but I didn't. So if you're able to get your friend or family member to help you, I highly recommend it. I do the same thing on the other side of my head. Please be careful not to snip your ear. Then I glue down all the edges with pros-aide. And I go over all the edges with a Q-tip to make sure they're fully stuck down. And I let it all dry. This is my first time ever applying a bald cap, so I'm pretty happy with the results. I was very intimidated at first, and it was much easier than I anticipated. The wrinkling on my neck doesn't matter because I have a high collar anyway. Now for the face paint. First I start out by using my headpiece to map out where the lines on my head will be. I draw the lines straight up from the center of my eyes to my forehead and about ½ an inch along the edges of the headpiece with a cheap black eyeliner. Then I draw lines directly down under the center of my eye to my chin. I use the eyepiece to map out where some other details will go. Then I continue drawing lines down my neck. I also draw the lines from my ear along my cheekbones. And another one down my neck. Then these two little shapes above the eyebrows, and I finish my other cheekbone. Now to actually start painting my face. I'm using Mehron water-activated face paint in a darker and lighter blue shade. I wet a sponge with water and mix it with the paint. Then I lightly pat it all over the areas that I want blue. Don't worry if the first coat isn't completely even. I will be applying it in multiple layers. Don't forget to get it all up in your ear and around your entire head. You may want a friend present to help you with the back. You can also see the two different shades I'm using with a sponge. I do this to add dimension to the color. Keep lightly patting on new layers as they dry, and keep working at it until you get it how you want it. Make sure the sponge isn't dripping wet when you apply the paint, or else you might wipe off the other layers. You want the paint to be a little more creamy and thick when you apply it. Once I'm happy with the blue, I begin applying the purple. I do this carefully to try to stay in the lines and navigate around my eyes, nose, and mouth. Remember, it will be blotchy at first, just keep building up the layers to even it out. When I'm happy with the general application of the face paint, I begin using a darker shade of purple eyeshadow to contour my nose to look more like Karen Gillan's. Heads up, powder isn't the easiest thing to blend over face paint, so I use cream paints to blend in edges. I'm using a white cream Mehron paint to blend and highlight my face. I do it on my cheekbones, my nose, and above my lip, and chin. I also go over the blue areas of my cheekbones, my jawline, and my forehead. Then to add more of a turquoise tone to the blue face paint, I use this green eyeshadow from Surreal Makeup. I use a puffy brush and blot it all over my head. This helps add more dimension and color to the blue skin. This does not have to be a super even layer. Nebula's skin in the movie is very blotchy and has different tones. Then I add some black eyeshadow to create a dirty effect since she gets pretty messy. I also use a dark blue powder to contour my cheekbone and jawline. And I add some shading on my head. When you apply the eyeshadow, some of it gets caught in the glue around the rim of the bald cap, so I blend it in again with some face paint. I also check to make sure the color matches the sleeve of my costume. Then I use a glue stick to glue down areas of my hair to protect it. Then I line my eyes with black eyeliner. I also fill in my right eyebrow with black eyeliner as well. Then I pat purple face paint over my lips. Next, I go over my eyelids with a darker purple eyeshadow. I apply it blotchy on the left eye because she has scarring around this eye. And I apply it lightly over the other eye. And I use it to contour under my nose. I add more dimension to the left eye using my liner pencil to create rippling effect for the scarring. It's very subtle and you'll barely see it under the eyepiece. Next, I curl my eyelashes. Then I put in my contact lenses. These are mini black sclera lenses. I got these contacts from Unique, so I will add a link in the description. I do have the full size one, but they are incredibly uncomfortable and painful for me to wear. And I'm not going to mess around with my eyes. Not only are these very comfortable, but they're also easy to put in. And they have a really cool enlarging effect. As you can see, it makes a dramatic difference. At the end of the day, contacts are such a small part of a costume, they really don't matter. People will know exactly who you are with or without contacts. Next, I tightline my eye with black liquid eyeliner. Then I use eyelash glue and glue on some false eyelashes. Once the eyelashes are dry, I apply mascara to blend everything in. Then I tightline my lower waterline even more with some waterproof black liquid eyeliner. This makes the eyes appear overall darker. Then I use a purpley blue pencil to fill in my lips. Now I'm going to glue on the fake metal pieces. All I do is apply pros-aide to the bottom of the headpiece and glue it to my head. Then I do the same thing for the eyepiece. I'll show you how I made this in my next tutorial. You can find the template for this available on my website. I will add a link in the description. Carefully apply it where you want it to go and hold it until it's dry. After I'm done gluing the pieces to my face, I outline the colors with a black liquid eyeliner. This took a pretty steady hand and a lot of patience. When I'm done, I go over the edges of each line with face paint to touch up areas that look like they need it. Then I set it all with a Mehron translucent setting powder. This will help the makeup stay in place all day and not rub off as easily. unless you sweat too much, because remember, it is water activated. And that's pretty much it for the makeup. I really hope you guys found this tutorial helpful. Whether you wanted to know how I apply a bald cap or how I do my face paint, or maybe you just wanted to know how to look like Nebula. I had so much fun doing this look. I will add all the helpful links to patterns, products, and other tutorials in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye!